So, where are we today? On the Zambo television. Apparently, that's probably the friendliest and best all-round pet store in the world. Oh, my dashboard off. The friendliest and the best all-round pet shop in the world. So, I came down to Manchester last Thursday. I've got a couple of weeks worth of work. And I don't know what to say about the place. In my videos, I keep saying Glasgow's possibly one of the friendliest cities in the UK. After spending a bit of time here, I'm going to say it's got some serious competition. The people around here are wonderful, so they are. And the accents are reminiscent of Coronation Street. So when I stop and talk to people, I feel as if Hilda Ogden should be popping out and offering me a cup of tea. I think there's obviously loads of money in Manchester. There's a saying, if you see a lot of cranes in a city centre, there's lots of money. And not only are there lots of cranes in Manchester city centre, there is now an entire area in the middle of it. I drove through it the other day. It looks spectacular. And it's just all skyscrapers. I think they have similar issues to Glasgow. You can see the Victorian past in the place. Now, I randomly stopped here. I need to go pick something up. I randomly stopped here. However, some of the architecture is fabulous. And like Glasgow, I just wonder to myself, imagine what this must have looked like in its prime. So they suffer the same issue Glasgow suffered from. There's lots of new concrete structures and sort of a hideous modern buildings stuck next to these beautiful old Victorian and Edwardian properties. However, they've concentrated the skyscrapers in one area, so that looks a bit Flash Gordon, a bit Space 1999. Town centre, I would say there's definitely more money in Manchester than there is in Glasgow. That's fairly obvious. I've not checked the numbers. I suspect Manchester's a much larger city than Glasgow as well. Anything else to say about it? I'm adoring it, really. I'm down. I'm not back home until next Monday. That's why there's not been any more uploads in the studio or anything, which is nearly finished. I wanted to do the ta-da! We've got speakers in, the mixing desks in. I was working in some furniture. There's a few bits and bobs to get sorted out, and we'll be in there making the hit records shortly. The last thing I would like to say about Manchester, they haven't brought a low emission zone in. Now, I lost about 30% of my work in Glasgow due to the low emission zone coming in. I was faced with the choice of losing work or spending £10,000 or £15,000 in a van. What I chose to do was lose the work and focus on trying to get the workshop. The workshop doesn't really make any money. It's like a big albatross around about my neck. So I'm hoping when they get the new little room opened up, that should push us across the barrier, and the place should start making. It should certainly start paying for itself. However, there is no low emission zone in Manchester, and now I have two direct comparisons between Glasgow and Manchester. I would say the air quality, there is no difference whatsoever. If you think about it, vehicles have a shelf life of 10, 15 years. I think the Euro 6 or Euro 7 came in for diesels in about 2016, 2017. It's 2014. Most of the older vehicles are already off the road. Because there's money in Manchester as well, there's a lot of new cars going about it. So I'm going to say Glasgow, whoever came up with that, seriously, all you did was hurt people like me. Why didn't you just let the natural wastage of vehicles that end up in scrapyards continue? The emission standards were going to come in anyway, right? So anyway, Glasgow, competition, competition. This is an amazing city. Maybe over the next couple of days, if I go back in the town centre, I'll stick the camera in the dashboard and show you some of the architecture and stuff like that. I've been working very hard. I've not really had 2 minutes. When I finish work, I'm just going back to an Airbnb and crashing out exhausted. So that's what I've been up to. That's why there's no updates in the studio. The studio, it's within grasp. What I think I want to do is get it. My mate Neil's a brilliant songwriter. We always wanted to make a record when we were younger, so hopefully the next upload I do for the studio, we'll get Neil down with his guitar and play one of his songs. Okay, so as I say, and something else I'll throw in. I was passionately pro-Scottish independence. I still am passionately pro-Scottish independence. There are some real clever people in Scotland. They're not in any of the political parties. I'm leaning towards the Alba Party, because I can remember from 2014 a lot of people that were actually useful in the SNP have moved over to the Alba Party. Because I'm pro-Scottish independence does not mean to say I have anything against people from England, Wales, Ireland or any place else. I've worked with people from England since I was 17, 18 years old, and I'm still doing it now. I've worked in England a lot. I love the country. I would almost class myself as an Anglophile. I've got loads of English mates, so if anybody watches any quasi-political uploads, I have nothing like it. These people here are suffering as much as people in Scotland through the wars in Westminster, the corruption, the nonsense that the British government have got us involved in. Somewhere along the line in the past couple of years, probably the CIA said Russia was really, really weak. Let's go and use the Ukrainian military to wipe the Russian military out. We'll go in there, they'll get rid of Vladimir Putin and we'll steal all the resources. That's not worked. We've spent billions upon billions of pounds bombing or trying to bomb Russia. The Russians have annihilated everything that we've thrown at them. I've spoke about it a couple of times over the years. Go back and check the other videos out. I knew from the first bullet was fired the Russians were going to win. I don't know why anybody in the British government didn't realize it. Anybody in the CIA, anybody in the MI6. I think the last tranche of money sent to Ukraine since Keir Starmer, who, he's a piece of filth, was £5.4 billion. Scotland's share of that is someplace around about 500 million quid. If we hadn't been involved in that war, we'd have been £500 million better off. Couldn't we have built a factory to make wind turbines? Anyway, Manchester. I left my heart in sunny Ardwich. It's a great wee town, so it is. I'd love to go down in the summer. Alrighty, so that's what I've been up to. As I say, I may stick one up if I'm back in the town centre during the day, but I've been so exhausted. The other one is the Trump Harris. That's not going to matter who wins up. Maybe I should do one. I could do one when I get back in the the Airbnb tonight. Thank you all for watching. Right, bye.